What's good, YouTube? It's Nas and we back with another video. Road to 400 subscribers, of course. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Jonathan Kuminga. And did the Warriors fail Jonathan Kuminga? Because I made this video a couple months ago talking about the Warriors are dragging out this Jonathan Kuminga issue. And it is September 22nd when I'm recording this video. And Jonathan Kuminga is still not on the Golden State Warriors roster. The Golden State Warriors haven't made any moves this offseason, and they've been waiting on the restricted free agent in Jonathan Kuminga. And it's obvious Jonathan Kuminga doesn't want to be there. And it's obvious the Warriors clearly don't want him enough for him to want them back. And why just drag this out? Why not send him to the Sacramento Kings where he wants to go? Well, that was reported where he wants to go. I don't really know. But why drag this out? Like, did you fail this young player? And he was drafted, obviously, in the 2021 draft class with a lot of key names, with obviously Cade Cunningham, with Evan Mobley, with Scotty Barnes, with Franz Wagner, with Jalen Green, if you want to say that. Like, there's a lot of players that were in the 2021 draft class, and the Warriors struck out on both of them. You drafted Jonathan Kuminga, you drafted Moses Moody, and we all know, like, if you don't know by now, the Warriors might be terrible at drafting. And then nowadays, like, back then, yeah, but nowadays, they might be fucking shitty at drafting. But, like, what do you do from here? Where do you go from here? Because obviously your young player doesn't want to be there anymore. So what do you do? My bad if you just heard that. But where do you go from here? Because obviously, players are going to see this and be like, why as a young player, if you failed somebody with this much potential, with this much upside, why would I come here? Why would I want to be here as a young player? Obviously, we know the history with the Golden State Warriors, like the Splash Brothers. You got Draymond Green, that whole dynasty there. But Jonathan Kuminga was a young player coming to the league, coming out of G League Ignite with so much potential, and you just feel like, can he fill out his potential on another team? And why are the Warriors not allowing to do so? Or why, if the Warriors really want him so badly, why not just give him what he wants, give him the contract? I've seen their refurbished contract where they tried to change the shit with a trade exception or some shit, blah blah blah. But they revitalized the contract initiatives, and Jonathan Kuminga still isn't going for it. Him and his agent aren't budging, and it just doesn't make sense why, as a Golden State Warriors personnel, would you do this, because you know you have limited time with Stephen Curry, with Jimmy Butler, and even with Draymond Green. You could see their paths, you could see their future literally coming to an end. So why not get the talent around them instead of relying on this young player who wants to thrive somewhere else, who doesn't want to be there clearly, to stick it out and ride with you? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, basically. Maybe this makes sense to y'all why the Warriors are holding out so much for Jonathan Kuminga, who I don't even feel like makes this Warriors team even a championship threat, which Stephen Curry is only playing for championships at this moment. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And it just feels like they're wasting Stephen Curry's last few seasons, wasting his last couple seasons. So I don't know. Maybe the Warriors have a different plan in the trade deadline like they did in trading for Jimmy Butler. But at the same time, I don't really know how much more you can improve this roster. You got Tarion Armstrong, you got Jimmy Butler, you got Stephen Curry, you got Draymond Green, you got Buddy Hield, you got Trace Jackson Jr., you got Braxton Key, you got Kevin Knox, you got Moses Moody, you got Gary Payton II, you got Paz, you got Quentin Post, you got Will Richard, you got Jackson Roy, you got Guy Santos, you got Pat Spencer, and you got Alex Tui. You can't honestly tell me that roster is doing anything in the Western Conference. Like, that roster is shitty, and that's all offense. Like, why even put Stephen Curry in this predicament where he has to carry like he did in 2021? Like, this isn't the roster for him. This isn't the right roster to put around any of these guys. Like, it just doesn't. This whole situation hasn't made sense to me since the reports came out, or since basically Steve Kerr benched Jonathan Kuminga in the first round. Like, it didn't make sense to me at the moment. I knew Jonathan Kuminga wasn't going to be back on the Warriors roster last season. But yeah, like, as soon as I realized, is Jonathan Kuminga hurt? Like, why is Steve Kerr not giving him no burn? And then they said on live commentary, like, Jonathan Kuminga is just a DNP. Like Steve Kerr felt like Jonathan Kuminga didn't need to play, and Jonathan Kuminga only played when Jimmy Butler got hurt. Jonathan Kuminga only played when Stephen Curry got hurt. So how as a young player would I feel if you only give me burn when your quote unquote stars get hurt and Jonathan Kuminga goes out there and shines, looks like the best player on the Warriors, and makes Steve Kerr look retarded? Like, and then Steve Kerr has the nerve to say at the end of the season, "We got big plans for you, yo. We gonna be good. We gonna be good." But like, no, man, no. I know as a player, if I was in NBA, I would be like, fuck, like. That's probably why, man, I'd never go to the NBA. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you gotta feel for a young nigga. Like, well, come on, bro. But in his couple seasons, in his first or last season actually, Jonathan Kuminga averaged 15 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And he played 47 games because he was out with injury some of this time. He played his lowest minutes since 2022-2023, and Jonathan Kuminga did have a disappointing season this season. Don't get me wrong. Like, he didn't break out how the Warriors wanted him to with the roster that was designed for Jonathan Kuminga to shine, to be a starter on this team. And Jonathan Kuminga was ultimately pushed back to the bench. And in the season before, in the 2023-2024 season, Jonathan Kuminga averaged 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. In the 2022-2023 season, his second season in the league, he averaged 9.5. He had basically 10 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. In the 2021-2022 season, he averaged 9.5 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 0.9 assists. Come on, bro. Compared to the rest of the class, these stats are shitty. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I just made a video criticizing Jalen Green, and now you expect me to talk positive on Jonathan. No, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you can't help but feel for Jonathan Kuminga because I just honestly feel like Jonathan Kuminga hasn't been able to thrive in Golden State in Steve Kerr's system, which obviously is designed around Stephen Curry running around, getting the ball off the screen and shooting that bitch. Like, Draymond Green setting up Stephen Curry for threes, and Jonathan Kuminga is the opposite. Jonathan Kuminga is an athletic wing who loves to get to the rim. Once Jonathan Kuminga gets to the rim, that bitch is getting dunked. That's Jonathan Kuminga's game. Jonathan Kuminga has tried to improve his three-point shot, and I feel like he actually has from his rookie season, because I felt like that jumper was horrible during his first couple seasons, but now I'd say it's somewhat decent, but it's not at the level where you could be like he's a consistent shooter in this NBA, because he's not. We know Jonathan Kuminga's best attribute is finishing, and he's became a better defender too, because some nights I saw him guarding the best defender when obviously Andrew Wiggins wasn't out there. When Andrew Wiggins was traded to Miami, he was still out there guarding with Draymond Green, and Jonathan Kuminga might be second or third best defender on this Warriors team. So I get the aspects where you want to keep him because you see the potential, you see the flashes, but at the same time, if you're not going to let him thrive, you're not going to let him fulfill that potential, why keep him? Why not get assets for him so you could build for the short term, which you're in with this current group around him? Why not get some role players to balance out? Why not get a center to balance it out? Like, it just doesn't make sense from the Warriors standpoint, from where you're just relying on Jonathan Kuminga to come back, to be healthy, to be happy with, oh my God, I get to ride the bench for Jimmy Butler again. Am I going to be a starter this year? Like, oh my God, am I going to be sixth man? Like, am I going to be closing minute? Like, Jonathan Kuminga needs a positive environment. He needs a place where he could thrive and where he could feel like he could be his best self. And obviously the Warriors need players that can help out Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green ultimately get to this championship and get to a playoff appearance in this loaded Western Conference. But that's my opinion on the Jonathan Kuminga situation. I want to know how y'all feel about this situation. I feel like it's still being dragged out. I don't know why it's being dragged out, to be honest. It's not that serious. Like, Jonathan Kuminga, I'm not going to get into it. But let me know how y'all feel. Subscribe. What's good, y'all? If y'all made it to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and engage in the channel. There's a video on the left, and I'm pretty sure the channel icon's in the right. Click one of them hoes, man. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. It helps me out, and I appreciate you.